Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. It's a good day if you support Tottenham. It's a sad day if you support any number of other football clubs around the Premier League. We're going to be talking about all of it. I hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things you love. The last 24 hours have been bomba. And maybe we're going to start a little bomber train. Greg B's already in the chat saying, Wharton next. Maybe we'll talk about that. This is obviously not just a Tottenham channel. This is obviously all football, total football, where we're going to update you with all of the last transfers, the news, views, and clues in the last 24 hours before I come over to Johnny and find out how he is doing. Going to ask for a few favours, guys, if you don't mind. As usual, a little bit of admin. Smash the like button straight out of the gate. It really does help the channel grow. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're just a little bit away now, about 50 subscribers or so away from the big 3K. Incredible growth for the channel. We couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you for the support. Notification buttons should be pushed because we can go live at any point between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Hit the comment section. Let us know your thoughts. If you're new here, let us know where you're from, who you support, and keep us entertained throughout the show. Also, guys, if you are interested in this in audio or podcast platforms, links are in the description. We are on Apple and on Spotify. But yeah, let's get into it. Johnny, how the devil are you, mate? How are you?
La 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 bomba ba 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 ba. Bomba. Listen, it was a beautiful day yesterday. My only regret was that we'd come off the air and we couldn't get back on for various reasons, linking the two of us up together. But it was a beautiful morning to wake up to all this happiness. Not all the Spurs fan base were happy. Some of the Levy-outers were still like crying in their cornflakes. But the unhappiest people in town, without any doubt, were the Arsenal fans who have gone into complete and utter meltdown at the prospect of signing Noni Madueke. I don't know if any of you have seen
Nonri, they're calling him, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, there's a great video out. I'm sure you see it. Don't go and watch it now, but watch it afterwards. But there's a video out of a guy walking down the tunnel of all the murals, all the Arsenal with Arteta out, and the guys who have gone Arteta out can't even spell Arteta, A-T-E-T-A.
They're so angry they forgot the letters.
They're so angry they forgot the letters.
So angry.
So we'll read out all of their meltdown stuff afterwards, but good afternoon. It's afternoon now. Good afternoon to everyone in the chat. Let's enjoy the day. If you're not a Spurs fan, come and join this, because I'm sure there's lots of transfer talk for everybody else. But you must excuse us today, of all days, that this is the day that Spurs have finally spent money twice. Even rival fans can't believe it. They're actually having to pinch themselves in astonishment that Spurs have spent £110 million in a few hours.
And apparently it's not changing yet. Graham Bailey has already come out this morning and said that Tottenham now turn their attention to a defensive midfielder.
Correct.
But they have been offered both João Palhinha and Douglas Luiz, and they admire both, but they are currently looking at stronger, younger options. Adam Wharton is their primary target. I mean, look, Johnny, you've been talking about Adam Wharton since before he went to Palace.
Correct.
A fantastic player, right? A fantastic player who stepped up, came out of the Championship. One of those kind of names that has sort of gone on and getting better and better and better. Every time you see him, he looks better. This guy seemingly has the capability to be one of the very best. Already broken into the England team. Very, very impressive. It's going to cost a fortune, but Tottenham seem to have money. We'll come to how that looks like in a second, but let's start with the news about Adam Wharton and Palhinha and Douglas Luiz. How do you see that one shaping up?
Look, I would have loved Douglas Luiz, but I've been a huge fan of Adam Wharton at Blackburn. What I loved about him was, for a young guy, his aggressiveness, winning the tackle. He was like that sort of Roy Keane sort of, like, get the tackle, get the ball, get up, pass the ball quick. And that's what really excited me about him. A funny thing was, before that, in the end of November, before he moved to Palace, I was really into Archie Gray as well. And the rumour was that they wanted Leeds 40 million plus over 40 million plus add-ons plus Joe Rodon. And I thought, well, that's never going to happen. We should just go and get Adam Wharton. But Dougie Freeman at Crystal Palace, their then director of football, just said, he's the one for us, and went and bought him. I never expected, I've got to be honest, as much as I admired him, as much as I thought he was a great player, I never expected him to progress that much, that he would then, that end of that season, go on to play for England. It was quite phenomenal. The thing is, yet again, this is another player that still has lots of elements of his game that need to be improved. Great winning the ball, great develop, but there are weaknesses to his game. There are weaknesses to Kudos's game. There's weaknesses to Morgan Gibbs-White's game. And I think that's what really excites Thomas Frank, is the ability to take an already good player with fantastic attributes and improve them and take them to another level. And that reminds me a bit of Pochettino, to be truthful with you, how we took them to another level. Adam Wharton is going to cost us 70 million. If he actually goes and spends 70 million on Adam Wharton, I think maybe we could get 65, 60. Look, the benchmark is 60 million. I think probably leaving the Spurs ball will argue the fact that, look, you know, we're going to pay you well over the odds for him, but you know, that this is enough. Dougie Freeman, Noel, he went to Saudi Arabia to take control of a sporting group network, not in the Premier League, in the second division, with a view to taking them up. And it's all sporting matters. It's you know, it's a very big job for him. I'm absolutely shocked that he didn't get the job. He was going for the Newcastle and Man United job, but it was given to others. I think they made a big mistake there. When you think he signed Oluwaseyi, Eze, and you can go on, Mateta. The list is endless of his signings and how good a job he did. But I think if money was an object, Sean, 100% we're going in for Douglas Luiz or Paulinho. If money is no object and we sign Adam Wharton, then you're looking at a player with probably another 7 years, you know, playing top football. And so therefore that would entice Daniel Levy to spend the money on a player. He had a chance of even getting his money back. Yeah.
The only thing I would say is there's two elements, right? So you say talk about money not being an object. First of all, I think the cat's out of the bag now with regards to Tottenham's investment. I think maybe the Kudus deal and the speed in which it was like cleared, or at least the noise of it, followed like it's on, it's nothing on, done. And then Morgan Gibbs-White the same thing, especially the fact that Tottenham triggered a release fee. I don't remember the last time that we triggered a release fee, especially if it was a relatively low release fee for someone like Gibbs-White. That would make you think that was a heavy front load on the payment, which is obviously cash dilutive. The noise that Tottenham only had 79 million, I think, in the cash reserves as of the last accounting period. Well, like I think that now there's no question that the investment isn't at least a factor here. Whether it's official, whether it's confirmed, whether it's all signed, it's obviously clearly something's happening. Something has been happening. We've been talking about that. But the other side of the coin, sorry, just to extend that point, if the cat's out of the bag, that Tottenham have got money to spend, then obviously that makes it more difficult to negotiate in and be restrictive, right? The other side of the coin, though, is don't forget that Woody Johnson's just taken over 42% of Crystal Palace for 190 million quid. You know, valuing the entire company at 400 million. At that point, right? If Adam Wharton if Palace were to sell him for 70 million quid, of which I know obviously that would get resurfaced in, but just on a valuation thing alone, that player would equate to about, what would that be, 15-20% of Woody Johnson's initial investment anyway. So like there's
an issue there though, Sean. Sorry to interrupt. There's an issue there.
Sure.
Listening to John Textor speaking on Talk Sport the other day, he said that his 40% didn't give him the rights to control the board and what Steve Parish did day in, day out. So what he might think is the right answer is, it was very interesting listening to John Textor saying his ambition was to take the club forward. Steve Parrish's objective is to stop them getting relegated. And he gave this citation that what he did at Botafogo, Textor, where it was a club who were almost financially bankrupt, had got relegated, and here they are playing in the Club World Cup, and the sky's the limit for them. So I would wonder whether or not now Woody Johnson would have the.
But maybe Woody Johnson, if his ambitions are similar to Texter's, and as much as we want to take this thing as far as we can, maybe he would be less likely to want to do it. I was just throwing it out there in terms of not so much about the intention or the willingness to sell, but more around the valuation of the player. Then when you bake in all of the other players in that squad that still have valuation, the stadium, obviously now they're not playing in the Europa League, they'll be playing in the Conference League, etc. So a little bit less of a sort of dilutive issue there. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Crystal Palace maybe sell for the right price, like a four times return on investment or a 3 times return on investment within 24 months is a fantastic return on investment for anyone. And then they just go and get someone like Hayden Hackney, who might be the next Adam Wharton, but like they recycle that money, 25 million quid in there. Then they're more likely to say, okay, well, if Mark Gahey wants to go, we'll cash in now rather than lose him for free. I just think it's if Adam Wharton was at a different club, I think it would be a different scenario, a different conversation. But there's quite a few interesting moving pieces at Palace right now that I'm not sure, I haven't landed really whether I think that it makes the deal more or less likely, but it certainly makes it an interesting chat.
Which of the three is going to go? Is it going to be Eze? Is it going to be Mark Gahey? Or is it going to be Adam Wharton? That's the thing. Or is it going to be a Mateta? There's so many things to say. It's actually Gaza 191. Morgan Gibbs-White release clause, he says, only came into effect yesterday, but no one knew about it. Now, you know who did know about it? It's CAA Stella, right? And who are CAA Stella tight with?
Base.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Is it Stella? Was Gibbs-White a Stella or base? Was it Stella? Was it
Stella base? Stella CAA. They're one, and they're separate, but they're
under the same. They're under the same umbrella.
Yeah. They're the same. They're separate but the same, right? But they have a very, very close relationship, as we all know, with Tottenham Hotspur, and therefore they would have been given the heads up for that release clause, and the day that release clause came into operation, and Spurs didn't waste any time. We often get accused of wasting time, but today we haven't wasted any time. Well, yesterday we didn't waste any time. Guys, we're going to get the sticker train going for Bomber Day.
Yeah, sticker trains available. We haven't left the junction yet. Just want to say a massive shout out to Sava, as always, very generous with his raids. He loves to send a raid our direction. There's 660 people in the house. We've only been going 10 minutes. It's a new record for the channel, I think. So appreciate you, Sava. Appreciate everyone that stopped in. If you're new around here, then please smash the subscribe. Instant access to the chat if you want to participate. What we do here is we talk about all things football, right? All the transfer news, views, and clues going on around the world. We've got a little Turkey segment we come to every afternoon because Turkey is a massive part of the shenanigans around football right now. And we also have a Tottenham segment, which we're kind of currently going through, and then everything else flows from there. Johnny, I do love that hat you've got on, mate. Good things take time. We have to talk a little bit, mate. I did a show last night, a panel show last night. You were the first entry on it before you dropped off. Yeah. I don't really know where to start on this one because we are talking about Tottenham here, but like Daniel Levy had the temerity, the audacity to be able to sit there with Vinay. Vinay co-signed this, his very first visible engagement with the club, to sit there and say, our ambitions are this. And then a couple of weeks of silence went by and the usual knives were out. And all of a sudden, when you conflate that kind of, that ballsiness to say it, I always knew, you always knew that they're not going to say those sorts of things at the start of a window unless there's something that's meaningfully changing. Otherwise, they would have done it previously. And because you've got Johan Lang, who I would imagine is the person that's sort of driving these conversations with the players and with the agents, he likes to keep these things close to his chest. So the silence is deafening at times, and people get run out of patience. People get very frustrated with it. but 2 bombers straight off the bat, one then the other. Is it time to even for the? I'm not asking anyone that's Levy out to become Levy in, of course not. But I'm just saying, like, is it time for everyone to park that kind of animosity and just go fair's fair? You walk the walk, or sorry, you talk the talk, and now it looks like for the first time in a while that it's a really, really good, shaping up to be a really good window.
Listen, he did the talk and he walked the walk. Okay, look, it's not a surprise to me we spent the money, because I've stood steadfast throughout all of this, been called everything. So have you, Sean, delusional and all the rest of it, that there was money to spend. We heard Matt Lott go on last Word of Spurs and say we had to sell to buy. I said it's absolute nonsense. So did you. We don't believe it. Charrington coming onto the board, that heavyweight, financial heavyweight going on the board. You do not put a financial heavyweight on the board unless you're looking to get credibility to that ball, financial credibility. Vinay coming in with his private equity background. And I said at the time, I was so excited when Vinny signed for Spurs, because I know his involvement with fan groups, how he's going to operate, and the fact that he sat down with Daniel. I know they were on the red wine and they'd probably drunk the whole bottle and got a bit smashed and got a bit schmoozy with each other, and it was a bit sickening. But, right, let's be honest, it was a little bit sickening. But the truth was that for me was the ratification of the fact that the money was going to be spent. And I was confident of it. I really was confident of it. Was I confident we were going to do 2 bombers in a day? No. But I still believe that, we're on a new phase now. Look, 2019, Daniel Levy had the opportunity to seize upon that moment, making the Champions League final. We had Pochettino, who'd served us so well, crying out for new furniture, and Levy let us down. He let the fan base down. He let himself down, let the club down. This was a new opportunity, that opportunity winning the Europa League to get into the Champions League. This was something we had to grasp with both hands. And I just knew we were going to do it. And we have started. We have started it. We haven't finished it. We've started it. Yeah, this is an amazing day for Spurs fans to go and spend 110 million. Even rival fans, as I said, are pinching themselves in disbelief that we've gone and done it. But one swallow or 2 swallows don't make a summer, and hopefully we got more signings to come. But let's embrace it. Let's enjoy it for what it is, and hope that finally, with Vinny on board, new money coming in, that the club can start to move forward to the place it deserves to be.
100%, mate. 100%. Hopefully, I think everyone's joining, agreeing with you, mate. We got a super sticker train that has just got kicked off. It's kicked off. The super sticker train has kicked out. Choo-choo! First of all, before we get to that, Super Blaine, love you, mate. Thanks so much for coming on the show last night. You're a sensation as always, mate. Great fan, great content creator, and a great guy. Love you, buddy.
Thank you.
Great part of the channel. He says, "Ratatata, we are on the tantalizing transfer strategies." It's great to see. He started the train going, and the train is now well and truly off. We're pulling into Mark's station. Big up to you, Marky. Love to see it. Thank you very much. Maha Artist as well is kicking in. Everybody wants to see a cheeky little gorgeous girl in the background, mate. We have to put this money into a fund to go and get someone pretty to we have to give for the
people Sean. To fan him, him down.
Sure, you're all super fan. Thank you very much, Maha Artist. Rain of Fire. Thanks very much, buddy. Love to see it. The super sticker train is stopping off at your junction as well.
Tell us where you are, Rain of Fire. Tell us all where you are. If you're dropping in for the first time, please tell us where you are and tell us who you support. Obviously, today a lot of them will be Spurs fans. And please hit that subscribe button if you're here for the first time. We're driving up to 3,000, which is incredible for a channel that's basically only been going a couple of months. So thank you, all you guys, for the support. Let's do the next train.
Yeah, we've got another one here from Blaney's coming in. Ulrika Johnson as well coming. Ulrika, great to see you.
Ulrika Johnson show.
What's that?
The Ulrika Johnson show.
Yeah, we love. I don't mind getting her on board. If we sign a couple more Swedes, get ourselves a Hugo Larsson or a Gokares, we'll get the Ulrika Johnson train going as well. Thank you very much, Ulrika. And Daniel Field is always here, as always, with the super sticker. Thank you very much, Daniel. Appreciate you all, guys. Very, very cool. The train is very, very, very much on. Braintree, Essex in the house. Bristol's in the house. Essex in the house. Love to see you guys. Let us know where you're all from. Johnny, we talked about Crystal Palace there for a split second. Borna Sosa. Left back, £2 million deal completed, deal done. Here we go. Mate, really good bit of business that is. Really good. Is that to replace Rico Henry because he's just injury prone all the time? He just can't seem to get fit. Is that the mission? Is that the method there? Because Borna Sosa's a lovely little player. Really nice player.
Listen, one thing we know about Brentford, we're worrying about them. Why are we worrying about Brentford? Because they've lost all their coaches. They've lost 5 coaches. They've lost their captain. And it looks, well, the manager and the coaches, and it looks like they're going to lose one of Bueno and Wissa. But don't worry about them. They're going to be okay, I think. The worry is that I don't think anyone expected to see Sunderland spend over £100 million on 5-6 players. We didn't expect Leeds to go straight out by 2 centre-backs and looking to buy Longstaff and other players. And even Burnley are looking to do business. It doesn't guarantee you, of course, stability in the Premier League, as we saw with Fulham, who spent over £100 million and got relegated. But it shows intent, because I don't think anyone who loves the Premier League really wants to see another season where 3 teams are completely cut adrift of the rest of the league. It's not what the Premier League's all about. We want to see fight. We want to see every game exciting and tough. I know I do. I'm sure most of us do. And we want to see it competitive, top, middle, and bottom, because that's the excitement. But I don't think many people expected to see any of the 3 coming up to show massive intent this season, maybe other than Leeds United. But fair play to them. But Brentford will be vulnerable. But this signing today for only £2 million, or who can you pick up for £2 million? It's like finding, it's like going to a market stall and finding a gem, for nothing. Can't buy anything for £2 million.
Sorry, did I say Brentford for Borna Sosa? I meant Crystal Palace. What did I say?
Brentford.
Oh, did I? Sorry, Borna Sosa's joined Crystal Palace for $2 million.
Right, well, right.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I made him.
Therefore, Crystal Palace have done a bit of business. And again, we know with Muniz and Tarek Mitchell, he'll probably be bought through. Listen, they've done fantastic business. Look at Muniz. Look at Ismail Sarr, how he's progressed. Even Mateta couldn't hit a barn door before Glasner got hold of him. Yeah, look, they look in a healthy position. But, as we said earlier, there's 3 or 4 players there that could be up for sale to produce funds for the next kick on forward.
One player that has joined Brentford was a player that we spoke about yesterday, was supposed to join Sunderland to be their 6th player. Excuse me. And that is England internationals. I don't know how he still is. Like Mr. Giant Flip-Flop himself, Jordan Henderson, spoke all about his problems with Saudi, and then went out to Saudi for a little 6-month spell, came back, went to Ajax. And
was part of the falling apart ceremony at Ajax. Absolutely bang on certainties to win the title, only to lose it.
Yeah, 100%. And then now he's gone to Brentford. So, or it looks like he's about to sign for Brentford anyway. It's not quite here.
That is such a massive about turn, because everyone's talking about it. The return, the homecoming.
Yeah.
Right? But can really Jordan Henderson replace Norgard? Really?
I don't think he's got the legs in him anymore. I don't know what he's still playing for England though. I've got no idea what the hell's going on with the England. It's almost like he's got dick pics on some of the England coaching staff or whatever, because he seems to get more minutes than most, and he's just not in any way, shape, or form the player. I mean, I never really rated him that much anyway, but he's never far away from the England squad. So but look, I don't think he'll replace Norgard, but I don't think it's a bad signing. But what it does tell you though is if Sunderland were close to getting him, and then whatever's happened there, change of heart, more money, whatever, Brentford and Sunderland fishing in the same sort of pool. Doesn't it sort of like, doesn't that suggest that either Sunderland have got ambitions to really kick on and spend a couple of years and do what Forest did, I guess, to a better, as a good example of like having a crack, managing to stay up, then kicking on. And Sunderland look like they're having a go, more so probably than Burnley and Leeds at the moment. Leeds, for what it's worth, still haven't got the Longstaff deal done. They keep trying, and they keep getting the bids rejected by Newcastle. I don't know what Newcastle want for the guy, but if they can find a way to get that done, it will be a really good bit of business.
Their initial bid was 10 million plus 2. Now it's 12 million plus 2. I don't think it's a bad price. I mean, they're looking to get rid of. Look, Sunderland have started with 2 centre backs and moving out. Trying to get solidity at the back, which they're going to need if you're going to stay in the Premier League. But I am really surprised. Henderson, great leader, but does he have the legs? Norgard's 31. Henderson, I can't see him playing a full season for them. I'm surprised that Brentford haven't gone for sort of younger legs. But I think they'll probably have another young up-and-coming 6 that they can mould, or that Jordan Henderson can mould to improve for them. But listen, good stuff. Can we talk about Arsenal meltdown, Sean? I mean,
yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Let's have some fun today. Let's have some fun, right? Let's have some fun. I love this. This is a great one. This is from Arsenal fans that walked out of Sesko negotiations because they asked for 90 million. Can't close Victor Gyökeres because of £5 million difference. Sounds like Spurs fans. Can't pay Eze's release clause for 77 million euros, but you find 60 million to offer Chelsea for a player we can do without. Come on, make it make sense. I don't even want to hear Arsenal and Chelsea are rivals. They own us in Europe, trophies, in transfers on the biggest stage in the last 20 years. We are their bitches, right? Chelsea accepted our first bid instantaneously. They couldn't believe that was our opening bid. We are a joke. £50 million for Noni Madueke as an opening bid. I'm lost for words. I mean, honestly, it's quite funny. They saw Gyökeres, they saw Rodrigo, they saw Eze, they saw Garnacho, they saw Osimhen, they saw Sesko, but they decided to focus it all on Noni Madueke. I mean, this sounds like a Spurs fan base. And if you're late to the party, right? If you are late to the party, guys, go and look for the video later of a guy walking to work through the tunnel of murals at Arsenal, where they have sprayed Arteta out over most of the murals, and they couldn't even spell the word Arteta. They've put Arteta.
Angry they've got the R. You never forget the R. We're all one. If you're going to be graffiti, I'll get the spelling right. Fuck's sake.
Listen, it was only a short time ago, right? Probably myself included, 4 or 5 days ago, where we were saying they're going to sign Gyökeres, they're going to sign Eze, they're going to sign Noni Madueke, Mascara, they've signed this one, they've signed Zubimendi, Norgard, Kepa. They're going for it. Now we're looking a little bit more fresh. I mean, listen, we're still behind Arsenal. We still need a lot more players.
No, massively, yeah.
Yeah, we still need a lot more petters. Arteta, yeah, probably how they spelt it. Yeah, it is about payment structures, Jimmy. You're right. Jimmy Hotspur there.
Apparently, Berta flew over to Portugal with one sort of mission in mind. One job to do was to come back with the signature of Gyökeres, and he came back with his tail between his legs, because you're dealing with a man in Verandas. He's more difficult than Daniel Levy. He's
Daniel looked like a pussycat, man.
Yeah. Tottenham went through it with the Porro deal. Tottenham employed third-party negotiators, or whatever you want to call them, like mediators, to get the deal done with the language barrier or whatever else. And if you remember, this was January of 23, wasn't it? Or January of 24, January 23. And
yeah.
And it was like day one the negotiation started, and it took until January the 28th or something to get it finalized. And in the end, Daniel Levy had to go in and sack the mediators, and he took over to get the job done, because the pressure was ramping up on the biggest drawn out transfer in Tottenham's history. And in the end, look, Daniel Levy managed to get it done. But I think that was one of those negotiations where Daniel Levy came away probably crying because, if you got two like the rock and a hard place, but this guy just will not move and has no problem breaking tenants. He has no problem breaking gentlemen's agreements, and he has absolutely no problem moving the goalpost. But to be fair to him, Johnny, we spoke about this. When you look at the benchmark that has been set, and we were talking about this right at the start of the window, it's a moving jigsaw. You don't know whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. Liverpool came out the traps hot and spent 100 and whatever it was, 15 million in guaranteed on a player that hasn't done it in the Premier League yet. I'm sure he's going to be a superstar, but if the argument as to why you shouldn't overpay for Gyökeres, despite his 100 goals in 110 games, is that he's done it in quote-unquote farmers' leagues, okay, I'll grant you that Portugal is not the same standard as Germany, but at the same time, you can make that same argument for basically anyone that's coming over to the Premier League for the first time. You can't do it until you've had the chance to do it. But if João Pedro is worth 55 million, if Kudus is worth 55, if Elanga's worth 55, these guys haven't got, I know they're different types of players, but they haven't got anywhere like the output. And Gyökeres has got 100 in 110 as a striker. Surely Varandas is correct to say the asking price is 75. Surely that's the reasonable price, isn't it?
What they're trying to do, look, what they're trying to do, they've gone twos up on Sporting and it hasn't paid off. What they've done, they've got Gyökeres to say, I'm not going back to training. I'm never going. Instead of I'm not leaving, I'm not returning. Okay. He's dropped I'm not coming. He's dropped 2 million of his own wages. Arsenal are saying, well, we're not going to pay the money. And he just said, well, fine, don't pay it. And if I was Sporting boss, I'd say to them, time to pay up. What we do know about Portugal is the vast majority of top talent in Portugal is successful in every league in Europe. Look how many successful Portuguese players have come to the Premier League or have gone to Spain or have gone to Italy or any league, right? They are a class above. They are on a level with Brazil in some of the players that they produce. And, the fact that he's doing it out there, although he's Swedish, the fact that, he's out there right now doing it in the Portuguese league and people sniffing at it or turning their nose up of it is ridiculous, in my opinion. Listen, I think they will get the deal done. I'll be honest with you. I hope they don't, but I think they will get the deal done. But now they are looking at Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins couldn't have, I don't know how many times he said he's an Arsenal fan. He said it.
We can't use that word anymore, can we? We can't use the twerk word. So yeah.
No, I don't use that word.
He's been working hard to get the Arsenal move.
Working hard to get the move to Arsenal, and that news was out again today. Where did I see it? Yes, I'm sure I saw it. I'll come back to it in a minute, but he desperately wants the move. He desperately wants the move.
I don't think what's his name doesn't want to let him go, though, does he?
Who?
Emery. Yeah.
Listen, they need the money. Who knows? Who knows what's going on?
He doesn't want to let go of John McGinn. He doesn't want to let go of Morgan Rogers, and he doesn't want to let go of. You can understand why. Aston Villa clearly are licking their wounds from overspending in the past. Clearly, Aston Villa fans are a little bit worried because they missed out on the Champions League by an infraction from the referee. They missed out. They've now got their sort of hands tied a little bit by these future UEFA conditions. And there's people the vultures are sniffing around their best players. The vultures are sniffing. I'm pretty sure Aston Villa will get rid of one or two to get themselves out of the bind. Maybe they'll pop over to Saudi. Then in 6 months' time, you'll see them moving to Turkey in January, and then by June they'll be back in Europe, and everyone's a happy camper again. But in the short term, Aston Villa look to me to be really handcuffed by their own previous overspend.
Arsenal have also been linked with Ademola Lookman, who has definitely progressed. I think they are trying to, go for other players and make them, Sporting drop their price. It's not going to happen. You know, they did it with Sesko, trying to make out that they were after Sesko when we all knew Bertie only wanted Gyökeres, and it was only Arteta wanted the other one. So, but I have got another story for the old Turkey section later.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. I just wanted to, we're talking about people not being allowed to, or I'm not coming home, I'm not going back. Story here from Rich Fay, who I think he works for the Associated Press as the Manchester United correspondent. And he has said that, can you see that on the screen? Not on the screen yet. A second. Here we go.
Here we go.
He has said that Manchester United have not permitted Alejandro Garnacho to rejoin his teammates for pre-season training.
There was rumours from Mark Goldberg that he was back in training. What was going on? So no, he's not been permitted. Neither is Rashford. Look, Man United are in the mud right now. You know, we hear so many times as Spurs fans berating Daniel for not paying the money and not paying the wages. But look, Manchester United are a perfect example of a club that paid too much for players and to pay too much for wages. And now they're slaves to their own madness. And they can't get rid of them. And because they can't get rid of them, they're struggling now to come up with, you know, with players and deals and getting linked with, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and, you know, Ollie Watkins. So, you know, they're having a problem. The only one who's willing to cut their wages right now is Anthony to get to Real Betis. He's doing the right thing, going to cut his wage, get the deal done, get off Man United's books. But Rashford is he only really wants to go to Barcelona.
Apparently that's now looking more likely than not.
Yeah.
Barcelona are very much making it. They've been playing hardball, seeing if they could get someone else. Obviously, he's not their first. He's not their first choice, right? He wasn't. Nico Williams was. Then Nico Williams said, "No, I'm staying at Bilbao." And then Barcelona turned around and said, "We're never going to come back in for you again. That's it. You burnt this bridge, Nico. You're never going to be a Barcelona player ever. We don't like you no more. You can't turn us down. We turn you down," which is quite childish. But
it's a fly in the ointment. A fly in the ointment breaking. Sky reporting that Morgan's Gibbs-White deal is currently viewed as off by Nottingham Forest.
Oh
no!
Leave me out! Leave me out!
We knew it. We knew it.
Really? I thought we just triggered the fee.
Yeah, but maybe they don't. Maybe he's saying I'm not leaving because they've seen the reaction from the Forest fans from signing for selling Anthony Elanga. But if the deal's there and he wants to come. The interesting thing there, they
can't change the contract. Like,
no,
if we trigger the clause and the player wants it, right? Then that's it.
Yeah.
We shall see. We shall see. That's wild.
What does Sky know? They're only in the football and sport business. Warren's consulting their lawyer over what an illegal approach. Yeah, right. Okay. And would that be potentially because his agents are CAA? And they have a close relationship with. I'll tell you what could be here, right? I'll tell you what it is. There might be an NDA on that clause that no one was meant to discuss, but it was put into his contract when he signed, but nobody knew about it because of the NDA.
How can you, what's the point of putting a clause in if no one can ever know about it?
Right. Well,
yeah,
no, but I'm saying it does happen, right? It does happen because no one's discussed it, right? But there might have been a trigger date. There would be a trigger date for that clause to come into action. And Spurs, obviously, maybe, I'm just surmising here, might have known through their connections that, by the way, guys, Morgan Gibbs-White trigger release clause comes into operation tomorrow. Let's trigger it and let's do it. Is he up for it? If we do trigger it, yes, bang, job done.
I'll tell you what.
We know the Forest owner, though, don't we?
I'm about to say, mate, this guy doesn't mind. Sort spiking the punch, does he? Like he sent off a complaint letter to UEFA to try to get Crystal Palace out so he could get themselves in. He's now doing this. This guy's a bit reckless, isn't he? Bit of a maverick. He doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give two shits. Interesting update though. That's wild. That's wild.
Marinakis, right? Look, we see Marinakis is a lunatic, right? Okay. The guy thought that Forest were definitely 100% going to be in the Champions League, so took himself out of the ownership register so he didn't clash with Olympiacos. Without realising, because he took himself off in May, without realising that had Forest have qualified, he would have been absolutely screwed, because the new rules say that it's who is on the register of ownership come March 31st, so to avoid owners doing what he's just done. So he would have fallen foul anyway. But this guy, we saw him running onto the pitch to confront. They can't stop the deal. They can't do anything about it. Yes, they can delay it, but the deal is the deal. And if Morgan Gibbs-White wants to come, which I believe Spurs would not have triggered the deal if they hadn't got the inclination that he was ready to come.
I'll tell you what, mate, if this falls apart, I'm back in the mud. I've been telling everyone, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you all. Suddenly they're all back. I'm coming for you, Butler. Levy screwed up again. Excellent. This is from Rob Daughter. This is the actual thing. I'm told NFFC considered the deal to take Gibbs-White to Tottenham is currently off. Forest consulting their lawyers over what they believe is an illegal approach. They never gave permission for talks, and they have cut all comms with Spurs. Unlikely they can block it, but definitely delayed.
There you go.
Interesting. Beware of the Lubo, Sean.
Yeah, let me tell you something. He's currently now lying on a bed at Tottenham Hotspur Way, having his legs massaged, right? Getting his video done. By the way, I love the kudos video. I only wanted the same for Spurs.
Yeah, I love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely sensational.
Your share price has crashed. No, don't worry. No,
we're good. It's still happening. They can kick and they can scream all they like, but we're taking their man. They shouldn't have put the clause in.
Here's a player.
Every player gets like this idea of we never gave permission to speak to the player. Every single club speaks to the player before they speak to the club.
Of course.
Like it's just the way it goes. Like you see it all day, every day with every single transfer. The player is interested in joining this. The players agreed terms. Now it's over to club direct negotiations. It's a nonsense argument to think that we're tapping people up. It happens whatever. Just a quick update from CNN Portugal. Benfica is set to sign
what player he is?
Thiago Almada. Yeah, he was at Lyon on loan last year. Botafogo's real player.
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational. Obviously, he's going in to replace Organ Koku.
Tell you, Sean,
to Fenerbahce.
Thiago Almada, how long do you reckon he's going to spend at Benfica before he's 55, 60 million?
Oh, mate, he's a brilliant player. He's a top draw player. I really liked him. When I was doing my research on, when I was looking into Lyon and looking at Mikhail Tadzi, most of the moves that Mikhail Tadzi were involved in. Like Mikhail Tadzi is an absolutely insane baller, by the way. Reminds me so much of like a Georgi Kinkladze, that same sort of idea. And Kvaratskhelia. These Georgian guys have just got some confidence on the ball, such flair, you know.
This guy, though, I'm telling you, if this guy was going into the Premier League, right, you'd be looking at 45 million, 50 million euros. I cannot believe they got him for 28 million. I mean, you know,
tell you though that John Textor is in trouble financially. He's got $1.4 billion of debt.
Hang on, wasn't he on loan though? He was on loan.
He was on loan at Lyon, but from Botafogo, who are also owned by John Textor.
Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, I think, Botafogo have now sold the two players to Nottingham Forest that Edu's bought, and now they're selling this guy. Are they in financial trouble? Because they were in financial trouble before John Textor is saying Morgan Gibbs-White is off.
It's just saying the same thing. It's just saying the same thing.
Listen, they're going to try and delay it. I'm not quite sure how you can stop if you've triggered a clause and the clause has been triggered and the player wants to go, then it's in the contract. There's nothing the club can do. There's nothing the club can do. And as far as an illegal approach,
all these guys, it's like flies on a sticky pudding, mate, isn't it? Like as soon as one person drops it, they all go, quick, I've got to report the same story. Quick, I can't not be on this one, even though you didn't know the story. It was the Sky guy that said it first, right? So
let's be honest.
Wow.
Look, if the worst comes to worst, maybe we'll end up with Eze. But look, Morgan Gibbs-White, the only thing, I tell you what could be a spanner in the works if Morgan Gibbs-White news to come to Spurs has now triggered Manchester City to come in and put in a bid for 60 million, which is chump change for them. I doubt it.
Well, they spent 500 million quid there in the last 6 months, so I don't know how much more they
more wiggle in their got. Listen, they bought Reinders and Cherky, so I mean, I'm not quite sure.
Not sure if there's the space.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And we got another raid coming in, guys. Hit the like button, and if you're here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. What happened, Sam, to Morgan Gibbs-White? Well, we don't know just yet. Well, we'll see. It's fluid. It's fluid.
It's looking like it's on. There's never a dull day in the world of Tottenham, is there, Johnny? Never a dull day.
I think maybe get on to Fabrizio Romano and tell him he's in the mud.
Forest is suing Tottenham.
Oh yeah,
we're suing Sir Jim Ratcliffe. There's Forest are suing Tottenham. Never a dull day. Shout out to Never a Foul. Shout out to Kaz and Monts and Daps, whoever it was that was over there. Thank you very much. There's 1,400 people in the house. Mad numbers, guys, for a growing channel. If you are new,
hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're here for the first time, and if you want to participate in the chat, just hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, and come and chat to us in the chat. I'm tongue tied today. It's a mental day. It's a mental day. Arsenal in meltdown. Spurs were in paradise, and now paradise has been shot through the leg. I just
want to pivot quickly, mate, to this story. TBR Football, Graham Bailey again saying. We spoke about this briefly a minute ago, but like the framing of this. They'll turn to Ollie Watkins if they miss out on Sporting CP's Victor Gyökeres. Like there's a release fee, right? There's a clause. There's just you can trigger the release fee, and it's not that much higher than where they're already at. I don't understand what Berta is doing. It doesn't make any sense. Like we've already established what the going rate is for a good but not great player. Yes, there is the argument that some Portuguese strikers come over and struggle. You could point to Nuno. You could point to like Tottenham. I think someone was saying it in the chat. Helder Postiga. There's a few examples of decent output in Portugal that doesn't translate 100%. But this guy's done it in the Championship, which is like it's not the obviously nothing like the same standard, but he's at least done it in English football. It's not like he hasn't acclimated to England. He's not Portuguese. It's not like the weather's going to be an issue. He's a Scandinavian guy. Like I don't understand why they would possibly risk letting this one fall over, because if Barandas is that difficult to deal with, just trigger the fee. Arsenal surely have the money to do it. They've just spent 50 million on a bolo.
What it is, it's the payment, Sean, right? They've spread their money out. And
what else do Arsenal need to do after this?
No, but you've got to remember, they bought Zubamendi. They're trying to buy Mascara. They're buying Norgard. They're buying Kepa. They want to buy Gyökeres. They've got to pay for Noni, and they're still looking for Eze. They have to structure those payments, right? And now we know Veranda is not going to play easy ball with them. And why should he? But for me, there's a big drop-off between Gyökeres, Sesko, and then Ollie Watkins. Man United are also looking at Ollie Watkins. They can't get rid of Højlund right now. 75 million pounds, 7 million euros. They can't get rid of him. Inter Milan haven't got the money for him. So what do? I mean, would you rather have Ollie Watkins or Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I know which one I'd be going for, but that's where Man United have dropped off to. But I think Arsenal are just throwing that out there now to try and scare Veranda to drop in his asking price. But I don't think he should. I just don't think he should drop that price. Arsenal, you got the money. Go and pay it, or put up or shut up.
Apparently, according to Gaurav, shout out to you saying Eze is staying. Munoz mentioned it today.
Well, we shall see.
You heard anything about that one, mate?
I think I can comment on at the moment.
Fair enough.
On at the moment.
Well, Fabrizio's tweeted, has he? What's he
He's
said?
in the mud.
Let's have a look, see what Fabrizio said, shall we? Hang on. Fabrizio. Is he in the mud again? Has he got another one wrong here? He said, here we go. Nottingham Forest. Is it up on the screen? It's not up on the screen. Apologies. Nottingham Forest prepare a complaint to the Premier League for Morgan Gibbs-White move to Tottenham. They're working on potential legal action as they believe Spurs made an illegal approach to a player. What's illegal? I don't get it, mate. Like every single fucking transfer goes to the player before it goes. Is it just like?
Oh, is it
a formality? I don't get it.
It's sour grapes. What it is, it's for the fans. It's drama and soap opera for the Nottingham Forest fans. We tried our best. We did our best. Real Madrid have been tapping up Spurs players for years. They tap up everyone. Bayern Munich were tapping up Florian Wirtz while he's for a year at Bayer Leverkusen. And unfortunately, they had a little cry about it when he went to Liverpool. They tried everything. They were tapping the dad up, the lot. At the end of the day, it happens all the time. That's how all transfers work. It's how everything works. You have a conversation. You get your agent. Look, if we were to bid, would you be interested in going to Sunderland, Leeds, Barnsley, wherever, right? And he goes, yeah, you better would. Then you look at the price. What sort of price will we offer? And then you speak to the club. What's the point of putting in a bid for a player and the player...
Unless you know the player wants to go. Yeah.
He doesn't want to go.
Well, I think you probably hit the nail on the head, though, in that what they're suggesting is the only way that they could know that the release clause... I mean, it might just be donut behaviour by someone at Tottenham who's phoned them up and gone... we'd like to buy Morgan Gibbs-White. Yeah, sorry, not for sale. Well, actually, he's got a clause. We're going to trigger it. And if they know all the details, that, as I say, like to me, I can't for the life of me understand the logic behind having a contract that has a release clause that nobody's allowed to know about. It doesn't make any sense. Either if that was put in to the contract, then the agent of Gibbs-White screwed up by allowing that contract to be like it's a non-knowable clause. It's bonkers. But this is where I guess having an agent on would be brilliant to know the ins and outs of how these things work, right?
I'm just telling you, from my knowledge, what I'm sharing with you now, NDAs for clauses are a thing, right? They are a thing. How does
that work, though? Can you explain to me how that works?
I'm just telling you that is a thing. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I've mentioned to you before about NDAs on contracts, on clauses, okay, that they're signed, because they don't want everyone to know about the clause, and that will probably be triggered by.
Then how can you ever trigger a clause if no one can know about it?
No one can know the clause before it's time to be triggered, right? There could be a clause in that's only operate. You could sign a contract for 2022 and the clause isn't triggered to 2025 or 2020, whatever, right? There might be a date or a time frame, right, that you're not allowed to discuss. Look, that's all I'm saying to you, right?
Look, if it's a thing, it's a thing. I just don't understand how it would work.
Sean, the rumour is that clause came into operation yesterday and Spurs were there. They'd already had a conversation with Morgan Gibbs-White and they'd done the deal and he's coming to have his medical, right? That's what they're going on about, I think. Anyway, it's
Schrödinger. Sorry, that's a fucking statement. That's a great comment, mate. Schrodinger's clause. Is the cat alive or not? We don't know. He's in the bag.
It's absolute bullshit. It's been going on since time memorial and it will continue to go on. Guys, there's loads of you in that chat. Hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe button if you're here for the first time. We're trying to get to 3,000. We've done it in only 2 months, guys. It's absolutely phenomenal. And we couldn't done it without you.
1,600 people here for a channel of less than 3K subs is wild. And if you are watching and all you got to do is hit the subscribe and then you get instant access to the comment section to let us know that I'm a bozo or that Johnny's wearing a hat that take off because apparently good things take a little bit longer.
Yeah, good things take time and time and time and time.
Sometimes they take a little bit longer than we thought with Gareth Morgan, Gibbs-White.
Nicholas, very liking if the deal is on, guys. Right, okay, well, we're saying right.
Just quickly, we got some more stories, right? But I just wanted to go to this Tottenham thing. We actually didn't speak about it. Like, so the rumours out yesterday that there was this £300 million sponsorship deal and 150 circa of injected capital. Obviously, we don't know what it looks like yet, but let's hypothesize and speculate. If it's 300 million, if it's coming from America or it's coming from Saudi, like the Far East, whatever, Saudi, whatever, Middle East rather, 300 million seems like a nice round number that would fit in a £3 billion valuation if that's what, or could it be for a 10-year stadium naming rights deal that Daniel Levy's finally got his number on?
It could be that. It could be that. It could be the Saudi oil arena.
Saudi Ramco, yeah.
Saudi Ramco. Doesn't sound right, does it? Doesn't sound right.
No, I don't like that. I don't want that.
No. I think a 10% stake. I wonder, and I'm hypothesizing here, I've said for quite a long time that QIA would love to get out of PSG because there's no money in French football. You've seen them win the Champions League and that, but on the whole, growth is maxed out. There's only so much you can do. Champions League, World Club Cup, the league's not generating any money. They don't own the stadium, blah, blah, blah. There's no development prospects. If they bought 10%, Sean, of Spurs, then they could still, I believe, compete in the same competition. Could they not?
Yeah.
Because it's underneath.
Yeah. 25% is the maximum threshold.
So what I'm saying to you is that if that 10% is there, then maybe it would be a gradual acceleration of ownership over a period of time. And that 10% tranche, which, as we said before, I value the club at 3 to 3.5 billion on my reckoning. And I think that could be a 10%.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Maybe 8%, maybe 9%, something like that. But it does sound about right, doesn't it? The round number, give or take. Just joined, is the Morgan Gibbs-White deal off? Well, I think it's in limbo at the moment, mate. But there you go. Connor's bringing in here. Telegraph have reported saying £25 million per year lucrative deal for stadium naming rights might be happening. There you go. So,
well, who would get that done? Who's good at naming? I mean, listen, Vinny bought in the naming rights for Arsenal, so maybe he's bought one in.
Didn't Arsenal sign like a 25-year deal or something with the Emirates? It was like it was £10 million a year for like something stupid like 25 years or some crazy length of time.
Not as bad as the deal we signed with Nike for 25 years or whatever it was after we were in the mud for the during COVID, and Nike saw an opportunity to bend us over a barrel, and they took massive advantage of it.
Just wanted to bring this one, mate. We haven't spoken about this one yet. Johan Wissa. Obviously, Tottenham were linked heavily with him 2 days ago before the Gibbs-White deal. But he's pushing to leave Brentford this summer. Nottingham Forest are in talks. Tottenham are plotting a move, and Newcastle are keeping tabs. Maybe this is all shenanigans for Nottingham Forest. Say, listen, we'll let you take Morgan Gibbs-White, but you stay away from our guy. We've been progressing on Johan Wissa for 6 months. Leave him alone. Would you be okay with that? I like Johan Wissa, by the way. I actually think Johan Wissa would be a fantastic sort of someone to kind of just the options that Tottenham could have with the variety of forwards that we've got. Be very difficult for an opposition's coaching staff to be able to know what version of Tottenham they're going to be up against them on the team sheet.
Another fantastic bit of work by Thomas Frank on a player who he has developed and he's honed. And Thomas Frank always talks about partnerships, and the partnership between Mbeumo and Wissa has been superb, and it's one of the main reasons why Brentford had such a good productive season last season. This guy got 19 non-penalty goals last season. 19. Only Mo Salah had 20 goals, non-penalty goals. He had the same as Erling Haaland. I know Erling Haaland was injured last season, but maybe that clouds it a little bit. But 19 non-penalty goals, any club would be, whatever happens. Yeah. So
interesting update there from Sammy Mockbell. Apparently, I'm trying to find it. How do you spell Sammy? Sammy Mockbell.
I don't see how they can say. I've got no idea how they think they can stop the deal happening if there's a clause and they meet the clause, the contract that's in the contract.
Nottingham Forest seeking legal advice over what they believe may be an illegal approach for Gibbs-White, who still want to proceed with the deal. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's not Milton's Gibbs-White that's calling it off. Spurs are willing to pay the money. I think this is just for the fans. I've got to be honest. Honestly, it's for the fans. This is for the Forest fans who are in meltdown, quite rightly so. They thought they had ambition, and But just going back, just quickly finish with the Wissa thing.
Yeah,
they paid £7 million for him in 2021, I think it is. So everything here is profit. 50 million for a 29-year-old who's just coming up 29 is very steep. I think he's on a very low salary. I think he probably could get him for 25-30 million pound. I don't think that is so bad in this day and age, considering what everyone's going for.
Still no movement on Brian and Bumo, mate. Manchester, we haven't spoken about Manchester United yet today. What are we thinking there, mate? United fans, surely. I mean, Kaz, shout out for the redirect. Kaz obviously spoke to me on the phone yesterday. I was like, "Are you getting worried? Is Tottenham becoming a bit of a problem for you, mate?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried." Well, listen, now he's probably happy about this news, but there's still no movement on Mbumo. Still no movement.
I think it will happen. But Man United have just got a whole shed load of goods that they need to get rid of. Spurs have been in that position, but Man United are banged to rights with the load of players that they've got. They're not going to get rid of Casemiro on his wage, so that's done. Jadon Sancho, Chelsea would rather have paid the £5 million fine than take him. He's only got a year left on his contract, so I don't think they're going to get any money for him. They'll get a loan fee, and that's about it. Marcus Rashford, he'll go to Barcelona to play with Hansi Flick, but they won't pay anything more than a small loan fee and pay a proportion of his wages. Garnacho, we know. Anthony's the only one that's playing ball. Højlund, they'd like to get rid of. He's going nowhere. They thought maybe Inter Milan would come in for him. Again, they aren't going to pay £40 million, which is still a loss for Man United. Xerxes, we haven't heard any news on Xerxes, so I can only imagine that they're quite happy to keep Xerxes.
Yeah.
But they need another striker. Cunha was a fantastic signing, fantastic talent, but they need another
centre-back. They need a goalkeeper. There's a lot of work to be done at United still. And apparently Garnacho not being allowed to return to training, Rashford seemingly eking towards his move towards Barcelona, although I don't think Barcelona really want him. I think he's about fourth choice in their mind, but they just can't get anything else done. I don't even know what Barcelona's current situation is. Were they not fined again recently by UEFA as well when Villa and Chelsea were? I'm pretty sure they were fined again, and this is the second or third infraction from them. They've already sold basically everything that they have to sell 5 times over to keep the money going through. They struggled to kind of register Dani Olmo and a few other players out there during last season. I think it's all just a bit of a strange egg, bit of a weird egg going on over in Barcelona. And I don't know if Marcus Rashford is the perfect fit for them, to be honest.
They are, because they don't have the money. They signed the Croatian wonder kid for £500,000 and with bonuses going up to £2 million. And Rooney Badaj is flying out there today. He's already done his medical. £2 million. His contract.
Good bit of business, that £2 million. Good bit of business.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, his contract expires in January. He wasn't going to sign a new contract. He's had that terrible ACL injury. Again, £2 million is nothing. So this is an interesting story, Sean, about Kylian Mbappe. For anyone who watched the
Luis Enrique thing as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. If I was a Real Madrid fan and I was on a PSG fan, I'd be looking at it from a PSG fan in that game and saying that's why we sold him. His work rate was absolutely disgraceful. 2-0 down after 9 minutes. It could have been 3 or 4 if it had not been for Courtois making 2 point blank saves. And the guy's laughing. He's smiling away, joking with the rest of the players.
Did you see that video that came out? It was on Twitter a couple of days ago of Luis Enrique sitting Mbappe down and he was talking to him in French, saying like, "You're a god on the ball. You're dangerous. You're incredible. You're the best there is. But if you want to be a proper player, like a top player, then it's about the team, and you don't work anywhere near hard enough." And he said, "I need to see more from you in the last couple of months before you leave." So obviously this was season before last. It was probably like February or whatever. And Mbappe was just sort of sitting there, just looking at him. And then at the end, he goes, "Is that okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But then obviously nothing changed. He comes to Real Madrid, had a sensational first season, but under Xabi Alonso, he's got that same sort of like teamwork before the individual kind of mindset. I don't know where if Kylian Mbappe is not happy being asked to do anything other than what he wants to do. The only player I can think of that I recently heard, Johnny, that basically said something similar where the manager was okay was when I think it was Mo Salah on that when they lifted the trophy parade, or at the end of the after Tottenham, I think it was. He said, "Oh yeah, I said to the manager, if you don't ask me to do anything of the working back, if you don't ask me to commit to that, I promise you I'll give you 30 goals or whatever." And he did, right? But you can only have one player in your team at most that you can afford that to if you get the output. If Xabi Alonso doesn't like Vinny and doesn't like Kylian Mbappe because neither of them are working hard enough, at the highest level, if that's the sort of coach that you have that needs that for the whole system to work, what happens? Where does Mbappe or where does Vinicius Jr. go? After Real Madrid, like, you're taking a step down or you're going to get money out in Saudi, but I don't think that they'll go to Saudi, or maybe Vinny would, but I don't know.
Saudi would take him all day long, right? But the guy does not love football. He doesn't play. You look at Maradona, right? Maradona, for all his, the drugs and all the rest of it, he loved football. He went on that pitch and he ate, breath, slept football. You look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo loves football. Messi loves football. Mbappe is just the hype around himself. He's a legend in his own mind. He plays like a guy that can't be asked half the time. We know he's got God-given talent, but he's not using it to the way he should do. And, the Galacticos that PSG had with Messi, Mbappe and Neymar just didn't work. And then you look at them now, they changed the model and they just look like a machine now under Luis Enrique. And you look at Real Madrid with 2 or 3 of their players, and they look like guys who, aren't playing for the badge. Are we going to have our Turkey section now, Sean? Can we throw that in? I think it's
have we got a story for Turkey?
Yeah, I've got a story for Turkey. Let's give Turkey time.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Turkey segment.
Okay,
what's going on in the world of Turkey football, mate? We know it's every day there's a new story coming out of Turkey. What's going on? Who are they? Where's the money laundering coming from today?
So Leandro Trossard is now a target for Fenerbahce manager Jose Mourinho, and Arsenal could be open to selling the Belgium international. But wait for it, it's going to be loans with options.
Yeah.
Look, sure. Everyone's going to Turkey. Everyone's going to Turkey right now. I'm not quite understanding the only deal right now, which is under jeopardy, is Napoli are holding firm over the Victor Osimhen payments from Galatasaray. Galatasaray are saying, look, we want to buy him. We can't afford 75 million euros, not pounds, 75 million euros. Is it possible we can pay it over 5 years? They probably like it over 55 years, but 5 years. And Napoli are saying no. Why are they saying no? Because they want to use that money now to buy Darwin Núñez from Liverpool, so that Liverpool can then buy Etike. from Eintracht Frankfurt. If they don't pay the money, there's rumours that Juventus is standing by, but Juventus don't have the money either. So where is Victor Osimhen? Where is Victor Osimhen going to go right now? Because there are a lot of players going to Turkey. Tammy Abrahams has just gone to Turkey. It looks like what's his name what's his name yesterday from Southampton?
Cole Peters.
Cole Peters looks like he's going there on loan. Everyone's going out there at the moment on a loan deal. But it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just amazed that no one in the Premier League is going for Victor Osimhen. Maybe there'll be some change. But
isn't Marco Asensio also going to Fenerbahce?
Marco Asensio is also going out to Turkey.
Fenerbahce he's going to, yeah, madness.
Yeah, there's a deal a day in Turkey. That's why we've got our gobble-free Turkeys for Christmas section here. For if your first time you've been in here and wonder what it's all about, and the turkey came on. Ever since we've been doing this, there's been another story coming out.
Clear as day that the Turkish Football Federation is in bed with some serious money. We all think it's from Saudi. Listen, until yesterday, when the news of maybe a Tottenham sponsorship coming from Saudi, I've had a problem with it. But now all of a sudden, I'm more than okay with it. You know what I mean? It's
maybe we can
participating, bro. I don't mind. Get me on board.
Maybe we can sell like one of our academy players for 30 million to Saudi to give us some FFP room.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Get Bissouma out. Get Bissouma out for 75 million. Get him out to Al Hilal.
How many have we got in the house, Sean? How many have we got in the house? How many have we got in the house today?
1,300 people here now. There's been up to 1,600 people here at peak. It's been.
How many likes we got, Sean?
Oh, I don't know. Can't see. Let's have a look.
Hit the like button, guys. It helps the channel grow. And if you're here for the first time, guys, please hit subscribe. Doesn't cost you any money. Hit the notification bell.
500 likes, give or take. So yeah, smash the
notification bell. Because you never know when we're going to be on. We could be on from 9:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night, but we're on every single day for 1 hour or 1 hour and a bit to bring you all the latest news. Today, obviously, there's lots of news. Chelsea doesn't look like they're going to get Ethan Nwaneri. It looks like Arsenal are going to keep him. I think that their agents were just trying to play with Arsenal to up their numbers. So fantastic stuff. Fantastic.
Apparently, Paul O'Keefe has been talking about the situation. I can't get on with Paul. I mean, Paul O'Keefe blocked me live on stream once. I don't know what I did. I've never really had a problem with him, but he blocked me whilst I was sitting there once upon a time, just sitting there with his tweet up, talking about something else, and then all of a sudden it refreshed and said he's blocked you. So.
I take it you saw the Paul O'Keefe tweet this morning. Hang on a second. I shall find it. Hang on a second. Got to find this.
Shout out to everyone who's helped us get on the subs list. We're above 3K today, guys. Massive thank you to you lot. It's been a fun last couple of months. Really enjoyable.
Right. So Paul O'Keefe, the kudos deal is almost done. Nothing is complete this week either, and certainly not 2 deals.
What did you say, sir?
That was Paul O'Keefe yesterday, 3:30. The kudos deal is almost done. Is not almost done, right? Not almost done. And nothing is completing this week either, and certainly not 2 deals.
He's in the mud. So this is what happens when you block me, Paul. This is what happens when you block me. Your credibility goes out the window, my man. This is what happens, bro. Unblock me and you might get a bit more correct, you know? Just a couple more super chats to bring up. Craig Fenner says, I hate you, Butler.
I hate you, Butler.
Appreciate you, mate. Super Spurs TV. Blaine's come back in and says, how can Forest claim an illegal approach when City were allegedly made aware of the Morgan Gibbs-White price earlier in the window? Load of plop. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That is interesting. Yeah, it's all. I just think it's salty. I think he'll still be at Tottenham. He's at Tottenham, isn't he? He's literally at Tottenham right now, but supposed to have his medical.
Listen, maybe you can contact Helga, Sean, and find out. She's probably at the training ground as we speak, Helga.
You better not be. You better not be hanging around with those multi-millionaire football players.
Yeah, I think we've lost them, mate. I think Helga has left the building, mate. You've lost your cachet. She's gone.
She has. Never mind.
You got any other chat?
Quickly, Drew's going to saying on the way to 4K. Let's go. Appreciate you, Drew. Thanks again, mate, for yesterday's show as well. You were excellent as always, buddy. I appreciate you for coming on.
If you're listening on audio, I've just said TalkSport saying it's off. Well, let's see what happens. It's off. It's on. It's on. It's off. Sounds like Bonnie Blue to me.
Unbelievable. I'm not sure if there's much more, mate. There's a few more stories we can go through, but
I'll have a quick look, Sean, because there's always something. Bayer Leverkusen have an interest in PSV winger Johan Bakayoko, as there's currently no chance for the Bundesliga club being able to afford to sign Alexandro Garnacho. Malik Tillman is poised to become a new Bayer Leverkusen player imminently, as all the documents have now been finally sorted. Bayern Munich are still keen on Christopher Nkunku this summer as Chelsea look to sell the French forward. Liverpool are still refusing to engage with Bayern in any conversation over the potential Luis Diaz transfer. Liverpool insists Diaz is definitely not for sale and have rebuffed all advances for the player. Manchester City are still trying to sell Jason McAtee. Interest from Crystal Palace. Interesting. We mentioned Manchester United, Ollie Watkins. Marseille have held talks over bringing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang back to the club. How old must he be now? Huh?
Yeah.
He must be getting on. Real Madrid, Alvaro Carreras to Real Madrid has been verbally agreed. The Spanish left-back will leave Benfica to move to Madrid. It doesn't give a price back, but they have a buyback clause in that one. And here's one for West Ham fans currently crying and having a meltdown over the Kudos deal. West Ham have held talks over signing Arnaud Martinez from Girona and are considering meeting the Spanish right-back's €15 million release clause. I think that's about it. Listen, guys, if you're listening on audio, we're on Apple and we're on Spotify. If you are listening, walking the dog, walking your kids to school or jogging in the gym, please hit the follow button and pop, if you get time, just hit that 5-star review button. That would be a great help. And I'd like to thank everybody who's been in here today. Absolute record-breaking numbers. 1,600 people we had in here at one time, which is incredible for such a small channel. Growing quickly, and we couldn't do it without you, right, Sean?
100%, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Quick last super sticker from Bobby Spurs. Thank you very much, my man. The super train is going in your direction as well. Guys, yeah, massive thank you to all of you. We're going to send you back over. We did the redirect is being redirected back to Sava. He's gone back live again to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White. So stay where you are if you want to get some more content, and we'll send you over there. But from us, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. On the way to 4,000 subscribers. Come on, you guys. Hit that subscriber button. Thanks very much.
Please smash Football Inc. raid as you get into Sava's channel. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.